All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the song, you know the graphic. Of course, we are back. It's time for the LPL. Once again, took a little bit of a break after that last match to mourn YG's playoff hopes. Frosk, we've been drying our eyes on that one. World Elite Academy just shut them down, and now they're going to be vying for only relegation position.
And I promised myself I wouldn't cry. No, you're completely right. Can we have a moment of silence for Young Glory's playoff run?
Shedding a tear.
I would shed a tear after that. Of course, the man of the hour. Actually, they're going to give it to you, Jay. Fantastic. You're normally the MVP points.
But yeah, that makes sense too.
Those solar flares.
I mean, they were really, really good. It's easy to look at the carry and be like, yeah, he was the greatest. I was thinking about Soas, to be honest, because he played the second half of the game like a completely different person.
But, I mean, you have to think of how rare it is to get 2 or a 5-person solar flare. I believe he had 2, if not 3, that game. So huge plays, obviously. It did result in 2 Barons. Huge play coming out from UJ right there. Again, we talked about how China is the region known for the aggressive supports. And I feel like aggressive is kind of like a very generic fill word for China, but the mentality is, again, the Annie support, Syndra support, LeBlanc support, things like that. They're very much about empowering their supports to make plays for them. While the rest of the world was talking about, you know, the AD carry, if you think way back, of course, it's now kind of shifted. We have the new Lucian, of course, the AD carries got their rework with the item changes, things like that. At the very beginning of Season 3, when they had, you know, the big shift of supports getting stronger, and you saw all those mage supports coming out of the gate. The top laners were incredibly potent and powerful, and everyone was saying, you know, the AD carries are so weak right now. What was China doing? China literally made the statement, because the support is stronger, it makes the AD carry stronger because there's someone there to protect them. So whereas everyone else in the world is saying, you know, the AD carry is worthless, he's trash, he's not going to be able to do anything at the beginning of Season 4. Yes, Season 4. I had to do my math really quick. The Chinese were like, nah, we can do this. We got this, guys.
Well, and what that game also highlighted was 2 very different styles of aggressive support. You had Yancer doing the kind of roam Alistair. It's the kind of thing we see a little more commonly with some bigger playmaking supports. I think the North American Challenger scene has a lot of players that make plays like that. I'm thinking of, like, you know, your Elements of the world. And
don't go too Challenger scene there, Pyra.
Never go full Challenger. And then on the other side...
Never go full Elements.
Yes. Well, somebody has to, right?
They'll cost support, what?
Anyways, I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. But on the other side, on Academy, you see a little bit different. You see sticking with the carry, but initiating the fights, playing somebody like Leona, which has fallen out of the meta in other regions, very effectively, and comboing it up with Jarvan. That was an incredible series of plays from Academy, and I cannot wait to see what they do this time.
I'm glad that you brought those points, because they're very important. Jarvan and Leona will never fall out of favor in China because it speaks to their meta so well. The ability to engage team fights. Like, the thing about Chinese teams is you cannot fight them. They will always win. Their team fight ability is far superior because their meta has grown up that you have to think they put so much reliance on the AD carry for so long, even though now we talked about how they have this resurgence of all these strong mid laners. They have to get 5v5s going very quickly. They love to dive. They love team fighting. And it's because, you know, they have all these all-star AD carries. You can't keep that person in the side bot lane farming indefinitely, you know, pulling a double lift until 30 minutes in the game. You have to get him involved, which is why they group so early and the roam is very strong.
And the team fights, the counter-engage, really was played up by Academy. They started a little bit shaky, and you saw how much emphasis there was on shutting Mickey down in the mid lane. But you almost kind of wonder if that wasn't overemphasized because they just kind of forgot about everybody else, and then SMLZ got huge.
I think it was punished fairly well, and it speaks to the weaknesses of Young Glory versus World Elite Academy. If you line these two teams up kind of like a puzzle, Mickey God, I'm not going to put him over Diangoon, although he's shown that he's a very proficient mid laner, not only in his champion pool, but in his abilities to support his team. He has come up with that hard carry potential, but obviously it's all about SMLZ. You know, he has the reputation of being that hard carry, hyper carry, AD carry. Compare that across the lane to Shenlong, who frankly has had a very lackluster performance, especially because he's flanked by Diangoon, Yanfu, and Yancer, all pretty amazing standout players for Young Glory. But the playstyle between these two teams is also very different, which is what I want to touch on. Again, talking about Young Glory is very much you can tell that they're thinking and everything that they do with their picks and things like that, which, you know, every team playing on a professional level obviously should have some thought process going on up there. But you can tell, you know, they have Kassadin, we're going to pick Alistar, we're going to look for the dive. Ali's going to roam as soon as he's level 6. We're going to pick the Riven. We're thinking about this here, we're thinking about this there. They got punished on a bad 5v5. It's almost like classic China versus New Age China, that 5v5 mentality, like you're not going to be able to stack your abilities or outperform our hyper carries, versus we're going to play the map. We're going to force Diangoon to split push, to find free objectives, to out-comp you. And it was very interesting seeing these two styles, especially, again, this is the very bottom tier of the LPL brackets. These are the last 2 place teams go at it.
Yeah, these are the 2 teams that came up from the LSPL last split as well. So they're definitely a little bit more raw and a little bit more invested in that classic mentality, but you see Young Glory turning over several new leaves and trying this new strategic play out. If not for the fact that they had taken a couple of bad pushes there and gotten just completely outpositioned, I think
that is the understatement of the year.
I really, if they hadn't given the Barons up, they would have won, right? That's totally a pretty big statement there. But yeah, it's unfortunate for them, but they just got out team fought.
Can they bounce back, though? What I'm really curious, and I'll have to do some digging on this to see if Young Glory had kind of a the flame lit underneath them after they had their big win streak, if they started scrimming again, because I would find it absolutely hilarious if they didn't scrim, 2-0 the top bracket, started screaming again when, you know, the pressure was back on to make a playoff seed, and then immediately lost.
They should just never scrim again.
Never scrim. That's what we learned today. Today in LPL, I learned.
Never, ever, ever play scrims. Just play regular games. Here we go. Pick bans, and it's going to be Thresh banned away from UJ again. It's going to be Young Glory's first takeaway. Also, looking at the Yasuo.
They have first pick. Young Glory was the team to ban Lucian. We'll see if World Elite Academy respect the champion. Again, 4.12 Lucian. He is not disabled. LPL does not disable champions. It's every man for themselves.
I think it has to get banned again. Zhenlong is not... Oh, okay. They banned it on Academy side. That was actually a nice tip in the pocket for Young Glory.
Again, it hurts red side huge. The fact that we did see Kassadin go through last time. I doubt that they'll let Kassadin go through.
It might get
effectively,
first
that means that red side is Kassadin, Lucian, ban of your choice. Which red side actually has a phenomenal... Can't even say that word today. What's my sub word?
Oh, Leona ban.
Let me open my...
We've seen this before.
Phenomenal win rate on purple side. There we go.
All right, guys, my co-caster's on top of it. There's Kassadin banned away as well. They don't want to take any chances at all. It's Young Glory. What do they first pick here? There's a lot on the table. Braum still an option for Yensur.
The jungle is completely open. Look at all of those bans. That is support and mid lane entirely.
Oh.
And they're going to go with Braum. Maokai's available.
Did I predict first pick?
Young Glory, please.
They do it. Yeah, I think this means we might see Jarvan. And, of course, Maokai is on the table as well. So we won't be seeing Gragas.
I will say, Young Glory, obviously, not new to giving up overpowered picks. It kind of bit them in the ass last game with that Kassadin pickup in the mid lane. However, they have shown that they have a competence for their pick ban phase, so I'm not going to throw them out the window yet. Throw them out with the bathwater with that Braum pickup, leaving Maokai open, although I think that's a huge mistake. This is the Maokai changes. He effectively has an area of he has an AoE exhaust for the enemy team. That's a 20% damage reduction on an AoE for Maokai's ultimate.
They sure do like running the Kog'Maw Braum lane. I'm not sure if I'm sold on that one, and they could have done a Tristana takeaway, but yeah, Zhenlong's not exactly noted for his variety in champ selection.
So Lulu. Lulu will always, again, be a huge pick in LPL. Not so much for the top lane, although it has been played a couple of times, most notably by World Elite Academy, or World Elite's top laner, Salme.
They are still thinking about the Gragas, and I think this would be a mistake for #1 to go for Gragas again.
I feel like this pick ban phase is absolutely terrible from Young Glory. World Elite Academy got every single thing that they wanted.
Yeah, except Kassadin. They banned it away themselves.
Except Kassadin.
But that's okay.
That said, Alistair, I feel, is effectively the better Braum, especially on this current patch. Tristana, SMLZ had a fantastic performance on that last game, ended the game with 12 kills. Jarvan, Soas, again, instrumental in helping stack those solar flares for Yushe. Maokai was banned last time. I believe he's only seen play once so far in the LPL before this game. It was almost twice, and it was in
a remake game.
Yeah, the remake game in LGD. So is already being recognized as kind of the powerhouse OP champion that he is. Xerath is bugged and still enabled in LPL.
Yeah, you get 4 shots instead of 3 sometimes.
Yeah, and it's very easy to replicate.
Well, and they didn't even try to outpick. It looks like Young Glory has pretty much just given up on this set. At least that's what the picks and bans are starting to say.
We'll see how they play the competition. Looking at it, so Kog'Maw, Lulu, mid-game bridge champion, protect the Kog'Maw, you have the displacement, and then you have a backline dive. It's the issue that I have here is it's a lot of power and responsibility put on Shenlong when their star player is Diangu.
Yeah, I don't know why they went for the Lulu flex and then still opted for Gragas. You would have thought that Lulu would have been a better choice to try and square off against Maokai.
Typically, people are looking at either Mundo due to his SV rush, or you could do Aurelia and try to get a snowball there. Obviously, Gragas works because they're effectively kind of the same champion.
Yeah, well, Gragas is a little lighter. Graggy light. It's the only time you'll ever hear that phrase uttered. Gragas is lighter than Maokai. You saw the list of champions by weight?
I missed that award-winning piece of fiction.
Oh, man. I always forget everyone's not as into the lore as I am.
Are you kidding me? I'm writing my fanfiction right now for League of Legends.
But you missed how they're all weight. Never mind. Okay. Well, yeah, it seems like Young Glory picked this out really, really strangely. And you can tell by the looks on their faces that they're not necessarily having fun with this, but I don't think they're taking it too seriously now that the playoff dream is dead.
You have to think that that's kind of a crashing reality, knowing that you had that huge burst. You were looking at the playoffs, and now you're simply just trying to scrape out of relegation.
We'll see what happens as we get ready to go into the game. This is going to be, I think, still a pretty exciting team fight game, just from what happened last time. Do you expect Baron Syndrome, our old friend, to make another comeback?
That was a pretty intense Baron match. China is known for kind of their Baron throws and their over-reliance and dependence on the big purple monster, but that was kind of a new level there.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. Loading up onto Summoner's Rift. It is Young Glory taking on World Elite Academy once again. Of course, it says Young Glory has 1 win, but we all know what's really true.
Yeah, that's actually...
I wonder when they change it.
Pretty different.
They weren't watching the same game we were.
Is the phrase I'll use.
Anyways. Hey, it's a dance party in the top. Oh no, it's a tree. I better run away from that one. Number 1 says as he waddles his way back over towards the blue buff. And actually, if he overcommits to that, yeah, that would be a really scary thing for Khan, but he gets out in time.
I think he was just trying to get that deep stopping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he places his trinket afterwards.
So, they're going to play this out very safe, because I think when they see Khan going that far forward, they're expecting an invade. And now, Academy can pretty much do anything that's not in that side of the map. Ooh. Spot out number 1 in the brush. Gotta be careful.
Might be a lane swap, though. We have Shenlong in the mid lane. Oh, nope, there he goes. He's waddling down to the bot lane.
He's like not sure where he wants to go. Actually, this is very delayed. This is not... Oh, they're just trying to set up a bait. This is a really, really risky maneuver. The very late invade.
This is a lane swap.
Oh, yeah.
So, number 1 is going to be utilizing his teleport, as well as the double jungle system to keep even with Maokai. And it is going to be a 2v1 scenario trying to put that tree down.
That's not the worst thing in the world. It makes a little more sense with the picks and bans now, because Gragas is still one of the better, later sustaining 2v1 champions, whereas we don't have to worry about this now on the other side.
The issue that I have, however, is that Maokai is not a gold-dependent champion. He doesn't need items to be insanely tanky. He has that built into his kit naturally through levels, and so denying him some sort of farm in a 2v1 lane doesn't really hurt what he's going to be doing for the team. Whereas I feel like Gragas is similar in that instance, but I feel like he's more item dependent than Maokai is, simply because Rod of Ages is a key item, although Maokai can go that route as well. I just feel it's slightly more important on Gragas just because of how his kit works. You have to think he needs AP to wave clear effectively. He needs, yeah, that's about it. I guess he gets innately take Eol on his own because of
This is
Stadio.
as much about the farm denial as it is about just not wanting to take the 2v2.
Being terrified of Tristana Alistair.
Yeah. Well, you all saw what he did last time on that. And it wasn't like they lost super hard in late or anything, but this might give them a better chance to do what they do best and wait it out until the later stages of the game when they can teamfight effectively. However, for the time being, we see the Jungle Buddy system engaging.
Scumbag Soas pulled the race over to Khan.
Ooh, is he going to cancel the back? Yeah, he does.
Ooh.
Khan has to take the long route home.
They're trying to force him to use that teleport. You see that Yushe has already made his back and is wandering up into the top lane, so he'll be up there with Maokai. Meanwhile, SMLZ, pretty much the Wei Xiao of World Elite Academy, is now getting the solo EXP and farm.
Should be able to get him up to a decent level there. He's not quite caught up to where Shenlong is, but now Shenlong has to contend with the giant tree in his lane. Doesn't seem to be too worried about it. Ooh, they get the stun off with the Winter's Bite proc.
Typically, with a lane swap like this, it's a traded early dragon for the early tower, so it becomes a slow push versus a fast push as far as the top and bottom lane are concerned. You have to understand that they always have to have on the forefront of their mind Shenlong and Yanser that if World Elite Academy try to force the dragon with a numbers advantage, we have to be in position to take the top tower to trade the global objectives immediately. Which is why SMLZ is like, you know, it's cool, bro. I'm just going to sit down here and keep my wave close to my tower and deny you off of your farm. Whereas they can't deny Maokai. They have to be that far forward because they have to be able to act.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of acting, Diangun doing a good job of pretending like that didn't hurt, but he is dangerously low right now. But he knows he's got a little help. Soas going in to try and make this first blood that's going to be delayed for just a second because there was also Yinfu, ever-present buddy, and they forced the summoner heal.
Ooh, the teleport.
Actually, this could be, yep, that's going to be, oh, it's going to be close. Oh, that repel, saving his life. Soas could go down here for first blood. I think it will be, and that ends up going over to Diangun. The baits were huge right there, but it was a near miss, and if not for Yanser, that would have been a very different story.
Two beautiful things really happened there to secure the first blood for Young Glory. First and foremost, a gorgeous cocoon from Yinfu from the jungle. I don't know if you saw it, but as Jarvan went and Soas went in for the flag and drag, he got caught on a cocoon on the back half, which meant that the chain CC did not go down on top of Diangun. Secondary, of course, is the roam from Yanser, the captain and shot caller for Young Glory.
Yeah, that was almost perfect. It mirrored what they did last time to Mickey, actually, with the three-man collapse. But in this instance, it involved the support, Yanser, instead of the top laner. So I really like what they did there to pick that one up, but it was so close, and it could have easily been Diangun going down instead.
A straight outplay. The teleport did come out from number 1, though. It was cancelled, so there is that.
And things are going to reset a little bit. I feel like this game is already looking like a lot more controlled than the last, just because Young Glory don't want to let that early game aggression get out of hand. And Academy seems to be okay with that for the time being. They have the advantage as far as Dragon is concerned because they have the bot side, but looking at this, you're going to see some
They have the advantage as far as, you know, waiting this game out. You're absolutely right. World Elite Academy is perfectly fine letting this game stall out and not giving in to the early aggression of Young Glory. And Young Glory does seem slightly more hesitant just because they were burned so effectively last time. But you do not want to play a stall game with a Maokai, Tristana, Xerath composition.
No, and that's going to prompt Young Glory to try and act on this. So they have been able to get a little bit of an advantage for themselves in the very beginning of this game, but anything at all could completely negate that in just a minute. An early Dragon could just turn the gold around anyways. Young Glory has a lot of pressure to make moves right now, and they don't really have the high carrying composition to do it. It's going to be Protect the Cog. That's the name of the game. So far it's working, but it's not really hard when you're soloing in the top lane.
Scary thing, though, is we actually see Jarvan hanging around the mid lane. He's in the river, so he could look top at this point, and Kog'Maw does not have the security that SMLZ had when he was solo in the lane, obviously because the wave A wasn't pushed and B rocket jumped Tristana versus little Kog'Maw. Although Young Glory, the roam Braum right now to secure the numbers advantage.
That was really interesting that they go for this. So all four members are down here. However, Khan has teleport available. There's no way that Shenlong could get in time to the fight if they even wanted to take it. And they don't at all. Answer still sitting on level 5, and they back away wisely. Nice blue steal, actually. That was a very stealthy undercover mission, yet it required all four members of Young Glory to do it.
I'm still very curious of the priority of Braum over Alistar, especially since they're effectively playing a roam meta. Braum is pretty much strong level 1, and then he's weak level 2 through 5 as far as the lane phase is concerned. His strength then comes back up as far as team fight presence with his ultimate, that huge glacial fissure, but him roaming around, he's obviously not getting the levels. You see he's level 5 still, so he's not having that ultimate available for him for those team fights. Yes, it's important to give Kog'Maw that solo farm, but this would work so much more effectively with Alistar. He would have so many more tools early to complete that roam and make it that much more deadly.
That's true. The early roam is definitely a little bit weakened by the fact that they didn't go for that. However, I think their team fighting presence is a little bit better with Braum than on Alistar. The stun procs, when you have Cog going rapid fire mode, that can get out of hand pretty quickly. However, he's hanging out, and Khan doesn't know he's there. However, the bot lane now being focused out by Academy, that's going to be Gragas getting double timed up, and whoa, that was so crazy that we had the graphics break for just a second. SMLZ should be able to find himself a kill, and he does on the tower dive. Meanwhile, up in this jungle right now, it's going to be Sois going down. Double team 2v2 now becomes a 1v3 as Mickey is in a little bit of trouble. Teleport coming in from Khan. He's going to focus himself out. Oh, Diangoon with the flash staying alive just barely. Khan's going to fall down. That was a nice play, and that was exactly what Young Glory needed.
The resources committed bottom. They decide to go full ham, find exactly what they need in the mid lane, see if they can transition this into a global objective with that tower. Looks like they're going to back off and look for the other global, though, in form of the dragon, which makes sense. The tower will always be available. The dragon, of course, isn't.
Yep, it's a nice choice just because they were going to typically lose out on it anyways just due to the fact that the lane swap opened it up. But with that fight, it enables them to pick it off quite easily, and they allow some of the minions to peck away at the tower's defense anyways and not give any more of that extra experience to Mickey. So really good play by Young Glory to recognize where the commitment was and to completely capitalize on it.
See if they can hold out again.
Whoa!
Ooh.
All right.
Clearing that out, going back. He's
That's
just
a
putting it on
wave
cooldown.
clear explosive cask.
Saving its tower makes sense. It's still on Young Glory, though, to see if they can turn their early game snowball as far as the global objectives and the small advantages that they've found into the map into a mid-game, late-game carry potential. SMLZ still on Tristana. I have to keep harping on it. I feel like World League Academy got every single pick that they wanted. They weren't denied anything.
Well, they're playing the late game, too. A lot of Tristanas these days going for the static Shiv rush. Not so in this case. Academy going for the tried and true. And they will hit that insane Tristana power spike with or without the kills. Mickey's holding out well in the mid. But the thing that Young Glory have going for them is that they've been able to really take the fight when they need to, and they're denying a lot of vision here. I like what's going on for them, but I can only hope that they can carry this later on in the game, because Academy has shown that when push comes to shove, they can take these huge fights. And the later the game goes, the easier that gets for them.
We do finally have the 2v2. SMLZ, of course, has the kill.
There's a spider in those bushes.
There's a spider, but I think spider's not going to hang around. Bug doesn't want to get squashed. Level advantage, completely even. CS advantage, pretty much even. About 3 SC. Oh, wait, spider is staying around.
Bait the fight out. SMLZ is trading it out with Shenlong. They know. Sweeper confirms the allegations. However, they might look for a dive here. Here comes Diangoon around the side. He finds SMLZ, gets a poke on him with the Glue Lance. Teleport now coming in for number 1. They're committing 100% to this one. SMLZ running for his life as fast as his order legs can carry him. That's a big buster shot. He might go down, however. They're chasing on forward, and they finally get it. They stay alive, too, and that's going to be a pick onto Yuji. So the 5-man chase. This looks like World Elite Academy last time with this aggression.
So much expended, so many resources down. They do find 2 kills, should transition this into a tower. Luckily, Khan did not have the teleport available, because that could have been a swing of disaster for Young Glory. So good read on that.
Yeah, that was actually a very, very nice decision in the moment, and they decide to farm a little bit more behind the line and let the minions absorb some of that before finishing off the tower. Actually, just backing away to deny even further.
Yeah, I think they can take out another wave.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem.
Although we do see the Mickey God Xerath roam. Does have ultimate available.
Yeah, but so does #1. It's not just a fancy name. He knows how to play when he needs to. See if he is not even going to be in any trouble. And oh, you know who's in trouble though? Shenlong. But the answer to the rescue. Stand behind me, little Kog'Maw. I'll save you from the big bad Yordle.
I like that. I like that Kog'Maw skin. It's pretty much a favorite. Were we talking about the other day?
Like, yeah, I think we were. But we'll have to talk about it in a minute because Danyun is in a little bit of trouble. Cataclysm's coming in, but Yancer says, no problem. We'll take this fight. Mickey going to go short-range nuclear, and that is not going to get the bug procced off, so he stays alive. Yancer going down, but it was a noble sacrifice to save Danyun's life.
Unfortunately for World League Academy, hey, but they got their win back, so
yes, and,
there's
he was being
small
out
things
by #1. Yeah. Back to the Kog'Maw comment.
No, I was going to say,
really
unfortunately for World League Academy, they don't really get anything off of that buff, or off of that,
There's really nothing they can do.
yeah,
Dragon still got it. This is why Dragon was such a good idea, right?
Just Young Glory's been so much better at punishing these picks. It's sometimes about team deathmatch in LPL, but if we go back to Royal Club at Season 3, they actually had Season 3 Worlds in their game against Fnatic. They actually had less kills than Fnatic, but they ended up winning the game because their kills meant more, because they would kill someone and they would immediately transition that into an objective lead, whereas World League Academy, you know, they find the kills there, but all they get are blue buff. You know, you also got some wolf camps, so some bonus there, but effectively it didn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah. Well, and Young Glory has really only been giving them the couple of kills, not necessarily giving them any larger objectives. And the bigger problem is that they've been taking these fights when their lanes are all pushed out, so there's really no option for Academy to do much about it. So, looks like the game is paused, and of course, we will have to see what the cause of that is. There are, of course, little bugs and things here and there in the system.
I believe, though, that with the pause game, that means that they get to spend more time with us.
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, hey, guys, it's the Pyrofrost Variety Hour.
Hi, guys.
Those guys don't seem too happy about it. Come on, Young Glory, crack a smile.
No, pressure's on. They just had their hopes and dreams crushed.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to happen at the start of the night as well. But you know what else is going on that I'm really, really excited for after this match, of course? The big showdown between the top 2, or rather top 3, 2 of the top 3. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's Edward Gaming Starhorn. That is going to be insane. I mean, it's getting towards the end of the season where you can't.
Super Hot Royal Club.
The Super Hot Royal Club.
What was it? It was called Super Hot Royal Crew, sir.
Well, it depends on if you're a crew or a club. I mean, those are 2 very different things.
Where can I get one of those lace stickers?
I think you might have to get them in the store. I know that one's peeling off. Doesn't look like a very well-made thing.
I thought they were patches for the longest time, because I was trying to design those LPL jerseys.
That guy looks like he's sleeping.
And I couldn't.
Dipped out of school for this. Oh, we're back again.
That's why they cover their faces, by the way. It's because they don't want their teachers to recognize them.
I see. Okay. Clutch strategy.
I hear that they do it in OGN audience as well.
Well, sometimes.
Which is why
I only ever notice the girls doing it.
Yeah, but it's because they don't want to be recognized.
You can tell some of them don't really care too much, though. The guy we saw in the highlights, like, just freaking out.
I love that guy's face.
That guy was amazing. Can we get that as, like, an emote? We need to make emotes on this channel.
It's literally the face that I make all the time.
For those of you that don't see Frost's face on a regular basis, I can confirm this.
We need a Baron emote.
Yeah, we do.
I think it was discussed that the first emote for the stream when it goes subscriber mode is
no, it's Baron with a clock on his. He has like a clock chain, like Flavor Flav style, because it's Baron time.
Flavor Flav.
Yep.
I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. Back to the game.
It's okay. I forgive you. Everybody gets one. Mistakes were made. Go, #1 Khan. Hello. Who's gonna win this duel?
Speaking of mistakes.
I don't know. I don't think the fat man has that in the bag. Uh-oh, Shenlong. Come on, buddy. Can't get caught out like that. Doesn't die for it. All of a sudden, Yancer to the rescue. They're going to turn this one around. Yujie. Ooh, he's low. Buster shot's going to knock back Yancer for just a moment. That ult is completely dodged out. The Glacial Fissure not going to land on anybody, but they can take the fight. And here comes, well, here came number one, and he went down immediately. That is not the way you want to take the fight. Soist making the numbers even. I think that was a knee-jerk reaction, and they're going to lose at least 2 for this one.
I feel like I've seen this exact same play before.
Don't go to Baron. Don't go to Baron. Hey, they fixed the graphic. Now it says World Elite 1.
Exactly, I told you they got the win back. Okay, first things first, in the words of Kobe, that teleport sucked. I wasn't sure what number one was trying to do right there, but he effectively teleported and just immediately fed, gives the numbers advantage, and of course Khan follows it up, so this is a free dragon.
Easily picked up by Academy.
Can we talk about those hero minions, though? The hero creep for Yancer to stand behind me, too, to try to get a proper ultimate, and then the sidestep from Yujie, and then he finds his own hero creep to W2.
Yeah, would have been great if that Glacial Fissure had actually landed. They went so ham on that. At first, it was like, okay, there's no tower, this will be great, right? And then Sois shows up, and then they're like, uh-oh. But then number one shows up, guys, I got this, and they blow him up.
And then number one shows up.
He should have just backed instead of straight teleporting.
I feel like we could make number two jokes, but that'd be a little...
Let's not sink to that level.
Unfortunate.
I don't think I'm that tired right now. Oh,
we
boy.
don't make fun of names.
No, we don't make fun of names. Dangoon is getting poked out a little bit by Mickey, but Academy has the map control right now. They are able to pressure around this Baron pit and try to establish vision, at least on their side of the jungle. Ooh, a lot of people moving up to the top. Twisted Advance.
The panic roam.
Yeah, he sees this coming a mile away.
I like the Xerath pickup to compete with the mobility of Lulu.
Oh, fight starting. Xerath goes nuclear really quickly right there, and that's going to prompt Yancer to try and get into the fight. Stand behind me to disengage this one, but will they be able to get out in time? Barrel's going to land Explosive Cast, not doing as much as planned. Khan tanking the front line a lot, and this is looking bad for Young Glory. Wild Growth being spent just to keep the Lulu alive. However, Yanfu sacrifices in order to stay alive, or the rest of the team to stay alive, but number one wasn't listening to those orders. 2 for free.
A protect the Kog'Maw composition. Oh,
it's not over yet. Soist, he's staying alive somehow through all of this one. Finally going down Glitter Lance around the side. However, that's going to open up a lot of options. SMLZ, he gets evaporated by, I don't even know just yet. That was Kog'Maw coming up with the kill. Nicely played, Shenlong, but still, they lose themselves a lot for all of that. So this does gimp their Baron fightability. So they won't take anything off of this one, but I would say Academy won that fight, just barely.
Very heavy-handed. Win conditions of Young Glory's team composition. If you have a Protect the Kog'Maw composition, you cannot and you should not be fighting without Kog'Maw. The biggest issue of that last team fight was that Shenlong was on the complete opposite side of where he needed to be. He effectively, I think he got 2 ultimates off, trying to pick up Jarvan on that side little corner before he even engaged into that fight. So a little too late of Kog'Maw getting involved there.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Academy.
The tower.
Yeah. Guys, we can do this. Doesn't even matter. It's unfortunate for Academy that they've been winning these fights and unable to take much more than a dragon. However, the game is still pretty even. So there's always a chance for these things to start turning around here. 2 towers in favor of Young Glory. But the fact that Academy's been so close in gold means that they have been able to maybe take the fights a little bit better. And you've got a 4-2 Tristana. SMLZ, well, you know when he gets rolling, it gets rolling. And 4-2 is not a terrible score. At least this time, Shenlong's got a kill to deal with.
But it's the spread of the gold. Most of the gold for Young Glory is on Lulu, and we say this all the time, but I'll say it again. Lulu is a mid-bridge champion. She has strength and power early in her early lane bully phase, and she transfers that power and that strength over onto her AD carry come late game. She bridges her early strength to the late game with Wild Growth, with Whimsy, with her shield, things like that. The issue is that Shenlong is not who you want to put your power on, frankly. I feel like Dangoon has come up much bigger for his team, and Shenlong really has yet to kind of find his footing as far as the split is concerned. So a bit of a gamble there.
It was such a strange choice, too, because Dangoon, Yancer too, I suppose, to a much lesser extent, likes playmaking champions. Yancer has been able to do that, but Dangoon, yeah, even though he's 4-1, he's on Lulu. This is not a champion that can hard carry a game. He doesn't have a big enough backpack.
We'll see how big his backpack really is. Again, 4-1-4, decent score.
Doing okay, I suppose.
It's that he is not a champion that can take out a 4-2 to Tristana. We talk about how if your AD carry gets out of hand, you just need you need tools to answer that, typically in the form of the assassin, and they don't have that.
No, they really don't have any answers long term, and this is why Academy definitely has a better scaling later on their side. Young Glory is still keeping it even, and they're pushing towards the map here, but you got to wonder, when is this going to start turning around? When does Academy get confident enough to start taking those 5-man engages on their side? This is where the Braum insurance policy comes in, and they just have to avoid the Glacial Fissure, but Young Glory, even more so, has to avoid letting Shenlong get a little bit too far forward on this cog. He has come up big this time. Ooh, Yancer, he's the one who gets too far forward and gets knocked and blocked. There is going to be the Cataclysm, but Yancer is on the outside of it. Can they turn the fight here? I don't know. They're still going for it, but they back away.
That was pretty intense graphical.
Yeah, every time the fight starts, it's so hardcore that the graphics just break.
They literally break the game. We do see a flank coming from Khan.
Well, this is what happens when Lucian isn't disabled, Frosk. What have you brought upon us?
For the rest of the
Yeah, he might be. Whoa, hello! There's a lot of stuns being gone in there. However, Big Spider comes up around the side. Yancer, he's tanking out a lot of the damage to the face, but they're trying to keep in this one. Khan not wanting to give them an inch right now. Yancer's very low, but he's stunned up. And they're looking for a fight even around the side. World Elite Academy just wants to take themselves a kill, but Yuji is going to be the one that goes down first. Yancer on the forward front. Mickey, he's going low. Soas falls down. That's another 2 kills over, and they have to bail out of this one. Another kill for Diangoon, making the plays. They answer it with Yancer. However, this is going to be an ace. They can turn for Baron, or can they? This is really too low, actually, with that last pickup. I was about to say it.
They can make this a mid-tier tower. We talked about Diangoon's backpack, came up big right there. The biggest thing, though, was that Young Glory had a much better, I'm sure we'll see the replay of it, they grouped together and they covered their flanks and they collapsed together and they utilized the strength of the Kog'Maw that time, whereas World Elite Academy entirely spread out. They didn't have the Xerath ultimate to work for, so obviously a huge cooldown as far as their damage is concerned. Off the table right there. Here we go.
There we go. So Flash Cocoon doesn't connect, but he kind of just ends up being a tank because the Wild Growth comes out. He repels away just to stay alive. Then Yancer comes in. He's still tanking all this damage, but everyone from Academy is way too far in the back to really do anything right here. So Khan goes forward. Yuji goes forward. They just keep changing targets. Oh, hey, look, we can get Diangoon. There's the headbutt pulverize. However, it's Yuji who gets knocked down. Then Soist and Mickey, not sure if they want to take this fight. SMLZ almost did nothing for the duration of that chase, and then had to bail out as soon as they realized that they were losing too many members. However, Diangoon got locked up under tower, so they managed to answer with that.
Very nice cask from number 1. It only takes 1.
Oh, they're still going. Team Deathmatch engaged. So it says, fight me in the cage as Yuji and Mickey's around the side. Hey, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, except a Lulu-shaped fish.
That got really dark.
Yeah. I was trying to come up with something clever, and that was what it was. I tried. Everyone gets 1, right?
There's 1, Pyra.
Okay. If I do it again, GG. Oh, it's going to be a tower.
Good response from World Elite Academy. They make a clean pick on Diangoon, immediately translate it into a tower.
Yeah. And that they just have this incredible confidence that they're going to be able to make the pick when they go for it. And that's what allows them, I think, to go headlong into this. Young Glory was a little bit hesitant. Even in those fights, you could see that it was kind of a lot of back and forth until they realized they had the numbers advantage, and then went all out. World Elite never faltering in that. And you could say, yeah, it's too ham, it's too aggressive, but it works out for them more often than not in these games. These last couple specifically.
It's, excuse me, the pressure is on Khan to perform better than he did that last team fight. He didn't really use his ultimate effectively for his team. I think he flash W'd onto 3 members of Young Glory, but there was no follow-up as, you know, they were chasing Gragas across the map. So, see if they can get on the same page. We talked about the communication issues that World Elite Academy might face, you know, having 2 Korean members brought over, kind of in a Hail Mary shakeup of their roster in the very back half of the split.
Yeah, they've had a lot of ups and downs this split. Mostly downs, though, with the roster. Oh, hey, here we go. Soas trying to take the fight to Young Glory, and that is going to be Yinfu saying, I'm out of here, but Izzy's running the wrong way right now. Might lead him on a wild spider chase. Oh, Xerath going nuclear. Can he get the 4th hit? No, he doesn't. That's not enough. Oh, but I don't think this is going to end well for Yinfu.
He's stalling.
Stays a little bit of time, so that gets his team in position to try and contest a Baron if it happens. So Academy not going to go for that one. Wise move.
It was smart to stall right there, obviously, not to get caught. Believe he, nope, didn't have flash available, so he just sidestepped that Xerath stun. Fancy footwork, blue suede shoes.
He needs 8 of them.
Those are expensive boots.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough item slots. He has to like sell his trinket, and then he gets a 7th one, and there's still one leg that doesn't have a boot on it.
I remember when I first started playing this game, I was so perturbed that I only had to buy 1 pair of boots, even though I had 2 legs.
I used to play Cassiopeia, and I always wondered how she wore boots. And then somebody directed me to the best picture of all time, which is like where it's like sitting on her head, and she's just kind of like doing the cat smile, like the anime cat, where it's like just a little 3 for your mouth. And then I realized that this is the League community.
This is it.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty great thing. Can't complain.
Speaking of League community, the largest League of Legends community is for China. You know, obviously they have the biggest population in the world, but just sheer volume numbers, more people watch LPL technically, which is so bizarre because, you know, we come from the Western world where literally no one knows anything about LPL. They're like, oh, Uzi, oh, they say Uzi,
well,
Uzi,
I would
that
hope
guy,
that
right?
you dispensing your knowledge is certainly helping some people, Frosk.
Tabe's still on the team, right, guys?
Oh, when someone says that, it hurts a little bit.
And then I died inside.
You know what else hurts a little bit? So is
Yancer.
going in on the answer right now. Yeah, they're going to go all for this one, and Brahm's health bar is still pretty heavy right now as they get the fight started off. Gets around the side and pops the winner's bite, not going to be nearly enough. That is going to be Zhenlong going way too far forward, and he gets bursted down. SMLZ, can he stay alive? Oh, he can't! He goes down, but he trades for Diangoon right now, and it's so crazy that the stream itself couldn't keep up with this one. Oh my goodness, the chase is back on as SMLZ comes up with yet another kill. However, it's a 2 for 2. Academy on the chase. And see if they can find number 1. Nope. That'll be the disengage. 2 for 2 trade, but again.
Was that Vasily? That rocket jump into certain death immediately gets blown up by Diangoon. That is an 8-4-7 Lulu, sir.
That was pretty crazy.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down.
You know what? I thought you were the one who has to calm down. Please?
My energy level stays at a pretty consistent 5 or 6.
It's like humming along.
Did he miss that brush?
Yeah. Oh, there's a pink ward. Oh, I can do something about that. But yeah, I can't even. Nope. Yeah. No, that's the infamous Scar ward.
He was standing in the brush. He Mushu'd that.
I'm not sure how that was possible.
He was 3 feet in front of you, and you just missed it.
Oh, God. I didn't, like, for a second, I completely missed the Mulan reference, and now I'm ashamed of myself forever.
We're in China, sir.
Yes, this is true. Oh, you know what else is true?
It's Baron.
It's 28 minutes. It's Baron time. SMLZ sees this happening. No way. No way.
Completely
Okay, everyone's
away,
scattered.
It's like LMQ when Curse walked up to them doing Baron.
Oh, that was
immediately
hilarious. They just jump ship, like two flashes. Wow, that's a lot of wards being spent. Okay, so the ward wars. This is what it's come down to. And now it's going to be Dragon time, but Young Glory, guys, there's a Baron happening right now. Uh-oh.
And it's on top of a pink ward, so World League Academy, with the confidence that they see that it's happening, we're going to force them to fight us. Xerath is in the area barely for his ultimate.
Yeah, they stay around for the finish of the Dragon, or at least...
Oh, this is a 50-50 Baron.
Whoa, there's going to be the barrel coming in to start the fight off. They're taking low. Baron is going to be their best friend in this one. Yancer coming in. Can he get in for the smite steal, though? It's taken low right now. Oh, it falls down, and he misses the smite, but they pick it up anyways. That's going to be the start of this one for World League Academy, instantly melting through the health bar of Zhenlong. Yet again, Yancer has to run away from this fight. He's going to come back in or try, but Diangoon is zoned away. They've got nothing number 1 can do. That's going to be another pickup. They answer back with Mickey. However, it's going to be a 3-for-1, and everybody else from Young Glory on the run right now. Ay, ay, ay.
And again, Young Glory completely fumbled the Baron. Yanfu, not even available for the smite contestation. He was busy farming the mid lane, and then he started to go and dive the back lane on top of Mickey God. Mickey God went down, but it's a 3-for-1 trade, and they're pushing up towards the inhibitor.
Big decisive moment for Academy right now. They might be on the cusp of a 2-0 as they look to push themselves forward here. 30.5 minutes in, first inhibitor going to fall down in favor of World Elite Academy, but not if Young Glory, Diangoon, and friends have anything to say about it. Looks like they don't. The answer might want to get a parting shot.
Does tag SMLZ, little Little butt tap to see him off.
You know, he's 8-4. It's not as
Look
huge
at where
as last
Yen
game,
Fu is on this
still.
map right now as we see the replay.
Okay, let's look at this. So the Baron's going down.
Look at that spider.
The crazy fight's happening. Yeah, the spider's trying to skitter into lane as fast as possible. And then, ooh, hey, there's some farm over here. Oh, what's that? We need to fight? Oh, I guess I missed it. Yeah, that was the big problem. You're right. Now, speaking of fighting, we're back to it. Oh, this is going to be a little bit of trouble, though, as SMLZ manages to get in and out just in time. There's a Cataclysm coming in, jumping forward. Soas is going to go down. However, they managed to get themselves 2 kills and then some, 3 now, with the pickup of Yin Fu, and only trade Soas Baron buff for it. SMLZ and Yujie, they're low, but they're still confident they can push on forward. No objective.
They're marching in mid. They have the Baron regen.
They might try to end this. This is going to be crazy right now, Froskurinn. It's going to be a pretty crazy fight, at least. It's going to be a 4v2 if they can stop it. Certainly, they have to try here, but those towers are melting through pretty fast. I think this game might be locked up and done.
World Elite Academy comes up huge with a 2-0 over Young Glory, upsetting the World Dreams.
Yep, that is in huge fashion. World Elite Academy comes up the victors, and they looked like they might be on the lower end of things. I mean, dead last team, 4 points. They have not come up with a single 2-0 against anybody tonight, today, whatever it is. They managed, yeah, the world has just been turned upside down.
Now on LPL.
You can tell that they are very, very happy with that result that they've just achieved. Young Glory stunned into silence here.
Frankly, this goes back to pick and ban. Like, if we're going to say where was this game decided, it was in the first 3 minutes before the game even started. We talked about it last time. World Elite Academy got every single pick that they wanted. They had a fantastic showing on Jarvan. They had an amazing showing. SMLZ coming up huge on that Tristana. Yushe got another hard engage support champion. You know, Luna this time traded over for Alistar. They didn't get the Cassidy pickup, however, he got picking up the Xerath to follow Dian. Like, Dian Goon is the playmaker for Young Glory. He a very mobile mid-champion. He didn't follow up the mobility with, you know, like an Orianna, like Dissonance or anything like that. He followed up the mobility with his semi-global ultimate range, which was incredibly smart as well. So, I don't know what... I like to praise Young Glory on their pick-ban phase. I think that it's creative and sometimes incredibly unique and powerful considering LPL, but that was a complete blunder.
Yeah, stretching pretty out there tonight as they go 0-2 against their opponent's World Elite Academy. But of course, that is only the warm-up match, because when we come back, it will be a long break. Apologies for that, guys. It's going to be about an hour after all of this. But when we do come back, and you'll want to stick around for it, it's going to be Edward Gaming. Second place, Edward Gaming, taking on the red-hot, super hot Starhorn World Club crew, whatever they are. They're doing really well, so guys, you won't want to miss that. We will be back, and we'll be playing some games in between. You should see some rebroadcasts of sorts, or maybe we'll just run the commercials. Depends. We'll be back in a little bit, so guys, stick around, hang tight. You're, of course, watching the LPL in English, and we will be back.
Fantastic. You normally the MVP points.
But yeah, that makes sense too.
Those solar flares.
I mean, they were really, really good. It's easy to look at the carry and be like, yeah, he was the greatest. I was thinking about Soas, to be honest, because he played the second half of the game like a completely different person.
But, I mean, you have to think of how rare it is to get a 5-person solar flare. I believe he had 2, if not 3, that game. So, huge plays, obviously. It did result in 2 Barons. Huge play coming out from Yujie right there. Again, we talked about how China is the region known for the aggressive supports. And I feel like aggressive is kind of like a very generic fill word for China, but the mentality is, again, the Annie support, Syndra support, LeBlanc support, things like that. They're very much about empowering their supports to make plays for them. While the rest of the world was talking about, you know, the AD carry, if you think way back, of course, it's now kind of shifted. We have the new Lucian, of course, the AD carries got their rework with the item changes, things like that. At the very beginning of Season 3, when they had, you know, the big shift of supports,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the song, you know the graphic. Of course, we are back. It's time for the LPL. Once again, took a little bit of a break after that last match to mourn YG's playoff hopes. Frosk, we've been drying our eyes on that one. World Elite Academy just shut them down, and now they're going to be vying for only relegation position.
And I promised myself I wouldn't cry. No, you're completely right. Can we have a moment of silence for Young Glory's playoff run?
Shedding a tear.
I would shed a tear after that. Of course, the man of the hour. Actually, they're going to give it to you, Jif.
You see a little bit different. You see sticking with the carry, but initiating the fights, playing somebody like Leona, which has fallen out of the meta in other regions, very effectively, and comboing it up with Jarvan. That was an incredible series of plays from Academy, and I cannot wait to see what they do this time.
I'm glad that you brought those points, because they're very important. Jarvan and Leona will never fall out of favor in China because it speaks to their meta so well. The ability to engage team fights. Like, the thing about Chinese teams is you cannot fight them. They will always win. Their team fight ability is far superior because their meta has grown up that you have to think they put so much reliance on the AD carry for so long, even though now we talked about how they have this resurgence of all these strong mid laners. They have to get 5v5s going very quickly. They love to dive. They love team fighting. And it's because, you know, they have all these all-star AD carries. You can't keep that person in the side bot lane farming indefinitely, you know, pulling a double lift until 30 minutes in the game. You have to get him involved, which is why they grew getting stronger, and you saw all those mage supports coming out of the gate. The top laners were incredibly potent and powerful. And everyone's saying, you know, the AD carries are so weak right now. What was China doing? China literally made the statement, because the support is stronger, it makes the AD carry stronger because there's someone there to protect them. So whereas everyone else in the world is saying, you know, the AD carry is worthless, he's trash, he's not going to be able to do anything at the beginning of Season 4. Yes, Season 4. I had to do my math really quick. The Chinese were like, nah, we can do this. We got this, guys.
Well, and what that game also highlighted was two very different styles of aggressive support. You had Yancer doing the kind of roam Alistair. It's the kind of thing we see a little more commonly with some bigger playmaking supports. I think the North American Challenger scene has a lot of players that make plays like that. I'm thinking of, like, you know, your Elements of the world. And
don't go too Challenger scene there, Pyra.
Never go full Challenger. And then on the other side,
never go full Elements.
Yes. Well, somebody has to, right?
They'll cost support, what?
Anyways, I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. But on the other side, on Academy...
So early in the roam is very strong.
And the team fights, the counter-engage, really was played up by Academy. They started a little bit shaky, and you saw how much emphasis there was on shutting Mickey down in the mid lane. But you almost gotta wonder if that wasn't overemphasized because they just kind of forgot about everybody else, and then SMLZ got huge.
I think it was punished fairly well, and it speaks to the weaknesses of Young Glory versus World Elite Academy. If you line these two teams up kind of like a puzzle, Mickey God, I'm not going to put him over Diangoon, although he's shown that he's a very proficient mid laner, not only in his champion pool, but in his abilities to support his team. He has come up with that hard carry potential, but obviously it's all about SMLZ. You know, he has the reputation of being that hard carry, hyper carry, AD carry. Compare that across the lane to Shenlong, who frankly has had a very lackluster performance, especially because he's flanked by Diangoon, Yanfu, and Yancer, all pretty amazing standout players for Young Glory.